advisor, working on the reform of public policies and institutions, a role that led to greater gender equity. Dr. Darren holds a PhD in digital marketing from DC.
That was a bit too high. So for all the Sunday crowd that is here with us this morning, Ahlan wa sahlan. And for all, thank you so much for the Irish Business Network. Thank you so much to Dr. Almutairi for organizing this. Thank you so much for everybody who is here this morning, taking a bit of the weekend to join us. I would like to start today reminding us on what is that we are doing International Women's Day. We're commemorating a process that we have gone through 3 years of many women trying to work towards achieving something that we think will lead the world to be better. And that is balance. In this International Day, let's get a sense of where it is that we stand as women. Worldwide, women hold just 24% of seats in parliaments. Women lead only 13 out of 195 countries. We hold only 15% of board seats worldwide. In 2018, women directed 4% of third-grossing movies. Women were awarded only 15% of scientific prizes. We are paid 22% less globally. At this rate, as my fellow speakers have already mentioned, it will take 202 years to close the gender pay gap globally. The good news is that we took some step forward in 2018, and let me share that with you. The UK introduced a mandatory gender pay gap reporting. We also have Saudi Arabia, that you girls or you ladies are driving to. The Salvador Pass allowed to protect women from violence at work. The Spain Prime Minister appointed the majority of women cabinet, and that also happened in Mexico, so I'm very proud of that myself too, and was like my friend Alma too. Starbucks promised 100% pay equality for women. And the final one, Adobe achieved equal pay globally already. So we believe that a more balanced world can be achieved. And that's the reason why the hashtag at the International Women's Day this year is balance for better. So let me tell you a bit about like a particular side that I do, and I pride myself probably on doing that because I do that with a lot of love, I guess, and caring. That's mentorship, and how you can empower female through mentorship. Let me start by telling you a little story. From a very young age, it seemed to come natural to me to stand up and to speak on behalf of my class, on behalf of my state, on behalf of my country. In this graph, I'm 4 years old, and I'm addressing the community on behalf of the Gifted Children program. What I didn't know back then, and I would realize that years later, is the very influential figure of a person in my early childhood. And that was my aunt. A year earlier, my aunt had been elected. My aunt was in her 50s, early 50s, And she made a point of telling my parents that every day after kindergarten, she wanted me to come and see her working at the city hall. I didn't realize back then that to me she would become a role model. This is me when I was 11 years old. So I had won an award and competition on academic performance. So we wrote that up everybody who is roller coaster in Mexico, the entire country. So here I am. We were all called to meet the governor of the state that day. No, nobody told me or asked me to speak. Remember? I stood up. I decided that the governor needed to know what I had grabbed, what I had to say. So they came to me straight away and they gave me the microphone, and then I started. It really comes to no surprise that the governor showed great respect, admiration, and regard for this young child who actually knows how to express herself. And he will become the first of the 3 governors who will protect me, guide me, and mentor me through the public life of the state for the following 18 years to come. Here I am. I was 16 years old. It took me a while. When I was 16 years old. And let me tell you, that was my first job. I was in charge of public appearances, addressing on behalf of the governor every single citizen, every time that we had an appearance in front of the citizens, in front of the ministers, in front of the presidents of Mexico. If you can see in that graph, there is somebody that is starting to stand out. And it's not just me. It's that I'm the only lady, I'm the only woman in those pictures. This was my highest work achievement in Mexico. I was appointed at the age of 23 as the head of advisors of the Minister of Interior. My highest assignment there was to be in charge of moderating something that we call the reform of the state, which is very similar to the process that we are going through now in Saudi Arabia towards Vision 2030. What we did back then is that we have to change all our systems. It was a political reform, an institutions reform, and a policies reform. What happens there is that I was sitting with makers of the state. These are heads of political parties, these are the heads of the Congress, and the heads of the judicial power. And I'm the only woman sitting there in the decision-making room. So here, I'm not saying that I was great, and I'm not inclined to do that. Evidently, I had to go through lots of preparation, and through lots of training, and through lots of working on myself and my own skills in order to be there. But what I believe was a very, very high influential factor on my story is the presence of mentors. The presence of mentors at different stages of my life. What is a mentor then? It goes back to Greek mythology, and I love that because that means that this is a figure that has existed in the entire history of humankind. To describe some relationship between an adult and a young adult and an older man, and how is that he's kind of trying, the older adults trying to help the youngster to navigate the world professionally. Then we come to mentoring. And mentoring is very important because it gives you support at 2 levels. At a career-related support level, but also psychosocial support that very much goes unregarded. The career-related support, we might imply by now that by showing your expertise, the mentors or your mentors tend to tell you how is that the business work, how is that you can go around, how is that you can develop influence, how is that you can achieve higher assignments. The psychosocial support, or do you think I did something? I'm back. I'm not back.
Are you using the clicker?
Yes, no, okay. The psychosocial support goes a lot in how is that we enhance the sense of competence. How is that we make you feel that you are enough for that professional role. How is that you feel empowered in your professional role? Career related, that is very important. On the mentor support side, what they do for us, so they coach us, they sponsor us. And by sponsoring, I mean endorsement. They open up to say that they are publicly working with us. And that is a very, very important cue of social proof and social endorsement. And they also give us protection. How is that translated to our career? Well, we get more challenging positions and assignments, we get more exposure and visibility, and we get promotions, satisfaction in the job that we are performing. And what I'm speaking about that today applies to both women and men alike. That's the way that mentorship works. Psychological support. How does that work in the mentor side? Well, role model. Remember my auntie? That's what she was doing, and she didn't realize she was serving as a role model for myself, because she made it so easy for me to see and to realize and to understand that the woman in leadership in a position of power was just a very normal thing to see around the household. Counseling, because you can come with lots of probably existential troubles sometimes, because you don't know what is next, especially when we are there having like second guessing ourselves, not being completely sure or reassured of what we want to do. And friendship. That's probably one of the most important parts. And I'm very, very glad that being here in Saudi Arabia, I have come across so many ladies that have given me lots of friendship, support, counseling, and role modeling without them even realizing that. So how does that translate in a career in your own identity? And let me tell you something, early childhood, from 3 years old up to age, research says that it's everything that kind of gets into our brains in how we start to define ourselves. From the following years, up to the year that we are 30, we are actually looking around, looking for identifiers to build that persona of us. 3 is how mentorship starts. Well, now you all want to go probably enroll and want to have a mentor, so just saying, well, how that magic happens? Well, there are two main questions in literature. Do mentors choose proteges? Or proteges choose mentors? It has a lot to do, according to research, with the protege characteristics. It comes with your own personality. That means that you have to have locus of control. And that's very important, and that's also something that all of us kind of develop, self-monitoring. And that means that we need to be accustomed to perform socially and to make sure that we actually blend in the actual environments that we are going through, and emotional stability. So these 3 characteristics, most of us will say, well, I'm done, I can go and just look for a mentor straight away. But it's not as easy as that. Because to look for a mentor, gender matters. Men tend to be more accepted when they go together and they are looking for mentorship. And that's how we often see men helping men. Because that's the way it happens. They have a mentor, they have a sponsor, somebody who believes on their work and is willing to promote that. But it's not the same, and it's not as easy when a woman tries to reach to those positions. And we have to be really careful through showing our competence, and that's what pretty much my is going to be telling you about, and also to moderating our own behavior. But what we have decided here, through lots of programs that we have been doing years, is that we don't want to wait for these personality traits to be developed in our ladies, because as we started the discussion today, gender matters. So that's the reason why we have been out looking for the woman. Whether you're an introverted or an extroverted, we have been looking out for you in 19 countries, trying to help us and support us, not just through career paths, but also giving us psychosocial support. Today, my fellow colleagues in Morocco celebrating our annual conference, and I would like to say hi because I'm sure I'm going to tell them later that I told you girls that ladies and Arab women in computing and saying hi to you too. So this is something that we are doing together in the 19 countries on the Arab world. The initiative that we have been doing here in Saudi Arabia is just very small, and I want to tie that in the work that we do in the university level. And lots of you have been thinking, and I'm sure most of the students that have joined us today, they know that we have done Texadia, but Texadia goes beyond being a mere conference where people just come and present. Texadia means that these women, these young women, Saudi women, are being involved. They are being given tasks. They are performing. They are panelists. They are organizers. So that means that they come not just to sit in a conference, but they are building. We are building that together through helping each other to develop our identity as professional, qualified women. And then I'll speak lastly about another example of how empowering mentorship through women, and that is the Mexican Women Abroad Network. So we have a presence in 20 countries. And how does that work? That means that women who have actually been abroad more experienced and working in different professional assignments, we are going out there for all of you who have been living abroad for a few years only and who don't know the country that you are going, the host country we call them. You don't know how to go around the culture, you might not know the language, you might not know what is necessary to get a job in that country. And what we want, what we work on, is to open that door for all of them together. And finally, what we do at the university level, and something that we are very proud of, is that we go a bit beyond what we have to do in a university environment, which is we get involved, we mentor, we coach our students, we get involved in the innovation ecosystem. In this specific slide, I'm very proud because our students made it to the final. They are in CAUST. They made it to the final in the STEAM Academy competition. It's about entrepreneurship and technology. How did that happen, and why is it so important if they didn't win? Some of you might be asking. Well, it's because they were out there in the final with master's students and with PhD students from CAUST. So now you tell me how much of the achievement it is. And this was one of the only ladies-only team. So I can show you a final example and how does the innovation happen. So that's another of our teams. And it's how you can track them a bit when they are here and John, how do you follow through? But I promised Dr. Audrey that I will leave with a takeaway. That's something that I like to do because I don't want you to think that this is what I have been doing and that cannot be replicated. I want you to think about how is that you can experience the power of mentorship, connection for yourself. So I want you to think, probably close your eyes a tiny little bit there, and think about what brings the best in you. What is it? Who is that you admire the most? And why? When have you felt most powerful, most empowered? And now, I want you to think through this slide and think that the one action you will commit to make to achieve balance for better in 2019 is, please write that down and be ready to tweet. So these are my social networks, and thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, Dr. Audrey. Thank you to the IBM Network. Thank you.